That was fun. That was like a 90s kids television show. We're back from a commercial break.
Right.
Bring Candy. Yeah.
Episode 491. I was thinking about
Oh
that
my God, 491. That's getting so close to 500.
I know. It's happening.
What are we going to do? We never do anything. This is classic Sarah.
We like to talk about it and then
Yeah,
forget.
we get like really excited. Like I even like it. I believe I like the day of our like 100th episode or something like that. I like went to Party City and then realized that that's not how it works. Like you have to do it before. I'm like, God damn, I'm a terrible influencer. That's why I can't do this.
It is so true. I don't have what it takes to influence.
I don't. I really don't.
We have temporary.
It's accidental influence.
Yeah.
If I'm influencing anybody, it is not intentionally. I am sorry.
Well, we'll celebrate in our hearts regardless.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, we do for every episode.
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Still in my apartment. I'm just going to come on every single time and give you the update of where I'm living. And that should tell you everything you need to know about how I'm doing.
I feel like you're doing really well. I told you before we started, like, if I were in your shoes, I would be not a happy person.
If you were in my shoes, you might have wet socks because my house is always flooding. Yeah. Oh, did I tell you I got the house actually tested for mold?
Yes. And
turns out
in a death trap.
Turns out the visible mold is in fact mold.
I thought that when you showed me a picture. I'm like, I don't think you really needed to get that tested.
Yeah. I didn't think so either. Apparently I did. Because they don't take it seriously. So, you know, it's
the countdown is on,
here,
though.
but
That is the good news.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's like no places for sale because everybody wants to move. So we're who knows where we're going to live. The future is question mark.
Yeah. That's true for all of us, though, Sarah.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I'm no different than
Let's get
else.
deep.
How are you?
I would
How
like
soon?
to tell the person, it was just one person, who wrote because she was very annoyed that
I love this.
I clear my throat too much.
Oh, well.
She was nice. She was like, I love the show, but it's very distracting. And I'm like, listen, it's just dry here, and I will work on it.
What's the thing that I do that annoys people? Okay. I was like, what's that thing?
For real, because I was so
we all
upset about it when I got her message, and then I thought, well, this happens to Sarah too. I mean, we're all, we have to be open to it.
And what I'd say, if I'm not your cup of tea,
don't drink it.
That's fine.
Drink it. Although,
I mean,
maybe
keep
tea
drinking
would do
our
me
tea.
good.
Definitely, yes. In fact, you should have tea. Maybe with some lemon and honey. And
But I do
Are you
apologize.
just a little phlegmy? You a little phlegmy?
Yes, and I know it's annoying, and I notice it too, but I just can't bring myself to like pay an editor to get rid of the.
What about the old? Listen, look at you guys are getting the behind the scenes talks today. This is what goes on when the cameras aren't rolling.
Yeah.
What about the old move to the side of the microphone trick?
You know, I do that, and it's just very loud. The old move.
And maybe like a to the side and then in the front. Oh, nope, I just bumped it. But
Because
so
we do this over the phone, obviously. But like, if I muted the phone so you couldn't hear me through the phone, it would still go into the microphone, so it would be on the track that people hear. So I don't know, people. I'm so sorry.
I see.
I will work on it.
She apologizes. Maybe I should up my throat clearing, and then yours will not seem as.
And then they'll complain about you, and you'll tell them to can it.
Yeah, I will. Like, can it? I don't even care. Because
Like,
everybody's got
mold
it. I
in my
mean,
apartment.
like, you can't do something. Right. I'll blame that. Well, yeah, for real, I'll blame that.
Well,
But,
yeah, because it's
shit.
probably true.
Well, it is true. And then Ren's been like, oh, man, I've had these, like, sinuses that, like, or the sinus infection that, like, hasn't gone away in, like, 6 months. I'm like,
Right.
right.
Toxicity.
Yeah. Anywho.
Okay. So first I wanted to talk about the untimely passing of Screech Powers,
Oh, yes.
a.k.a. Dustin Diamond.
I got a little emotional this morning for like 2 seconds.
Tell me why.
But in seeing the responses to him and in understanding that, so from what I hear, he had melanoma or blastocell, I can't remember what it's called, melanoma skin cancer, right? Or no, lung cancer. He had lung cancer that metastasized.
Yes.
And then I heard that he had chosen to not do very aggressive treatments on it. Is this correct?
That I didn't hear.
Okay, so I do not know if that's a fact or not. But it was sad to me a little bit that everybody is saying R.I.P. Screech.
Yeah.
And that plays into the identity thing. And if your identity is wrapped up in who you were when you were 16 and a character that is this goofy thing that you can't escape, that's a real... It's that you and I have experienced a little bit of that, of people wanting us to be, they're like, no, go in that box.
Yep.
And you feel like, I don't want to be in there. And then it feels like there's this disconnect and this whole, so I had this little moment of like sadness that creeped up. And then I was like talking to Ren, and I think he probably heard it in my voice, and he was like, well, I think he kind of lived like a hard life. And then in my mind, I was like, that's what I'm saying. And there's a reason. That's the symptom is what we're seeing, the effects of what maybe we all did to him.
Yes, Sarah, I feel like I'm at church. This is exactly my sentiment.
Thank you.
Because I've thought a lot about him over the years, because he periodically will show up in the news for something unsavory. And I remember when he was on Celebrity Fit Club.
Yes.
And
that was it.
Holy heck. He was clearly doing it because he needed the money, but really didn't want to do it. And he was defiant and angry and aggressive. Yeah. And I thought, what an asshole. But then it's what you say. How could he not be an asshole when he was reduced to this caricature of not even himself?
Reduced to a caricature. That's the part that saddens me. And then, of course, I'm saying of course like my mother, not actual of course. He would die young.
Right. That's what Adam said.
Oh, of course he did, because Adam and I always say the same thing. If you ever want to know how I feel about something, just ask Adam. It's the same. Guaranteed. When is it not?
I don't think it excuses Dustin's poor choices.
Right.
Where he did that tell-all book that was just so alienating to the cast. And he never really would take responsibility, because then he'd go on Oprah, Where Are They Now? And he'd be like, oh, that was ghost-written, and I didn't really say those things. But... your name's on the cover, and you have to take responsibility and ownership of what you put out there. But I get why he felt desperate enough to do that.
Yep.
What's he supposed to do? Be an accountant?
Right. And even if you did, could you imagine what going to work as an accountant would be like? Oh, hey, Screech. What up, Screech? Blah, 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 blah.
Just going to the grocery store.
Forget it. You are a... caricature. You've been reduced to, you said it, that's the perfect way to put it. God damn, this is really important.
It is.
And people don't, it's the same thing. Remember when we read Handmaid's Tale? Or if you've seen, I don't know if they do this in the movie or in the TV show, but if you've read Handmaid's Tale, you read the whole book, and then spoiler alert, the last chapter is basically like a history class. Like, you're now in the present time and you're in a history class, and it's like you're reading this intense, insane thing that happened, but it's only like 2 days of the history, and you're like, we brush over it, and it's like, oh, yep, and then da, 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 da. But it's like their entire, it's you know, I say it even about the pandemic, what we're in right now. Like, what we're in right now is that scary part of the movie, that intro that's like, you know, they give you like a 1 minute long montage of like, we thought it was going to be only for a year. And then everyone went inside. And then we never came out. And Then the sun went away. And, like, that kind of shit. Ooh, it gives me goosebumps. And we, like, say all of that in, like, 1 minute. But it's really all of these just experiences that were just intense.
Formative,
and formative. And that's it. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I have real compassion for him because all of the other people on the show were, traditionally attractive, conventionally attractive. And so they had more opportunities to reinvent themselves, do other things after. But not only did he have more of a not Hollywood look, but he was also costumed to be like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
I mean, and his name was Screech. He just became, it's like Urkel, but like
yes.
When you become one of those characters, if you don't have a firm foundation at home, I don't know Dustin's, but I would be inclined to think maybe there wasn't a firm foundation there.
Agreed.
And then it can take a really dark turn.
Oh my gosh.
Let's take a minute to talk about Monk Pack, shall we?
Yes. Oh my God, Sue's delicious. Yes, that's a good change.
They are so good.
They're so good, and every single time I try a new flavor, I'm always like, I don't like change, maybe. And so I'm like, oh, what's this new flavor I'll have to try? And then I'm like, damn, this one's better than the last.
They're all
peanut butter
really
and
good.
Chocolate chunk. Hello.
I didn't try any that I was like, oh, this isn't my favorite. They're all really good, and they are so low in sugar.
Lincoln was so funny when he's like, this is my favorite one of all of yours.
We just filmed a video because he was like, maybe I should tell the Brainiacs about it. I'm like, okay, so maybe I'll put that up.
Oh, my God.
He's like their ambassador.
And talk about honest review.
Yeah. He's not going to lie.
From the mouths of babes.
It's just a great late night treat or, a snack during the day, quick breakfast, whatever. The taste is incredible, but I just like that they have really low sugar and they can be great for a keto lifestyle as well if you happen to be into that. Try it for yourself and you'll see. And we have a special deal for our listeners. Get 20% off your first purchase of any Monk Pack product by visiting monkpack.com and entering code CANDY at checkout. And Monk Pack is so confident in their product, it's back with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll exchange the product or refund your money, whichever you prefer. To get started, just go to monkpack.com. That's MUNKPACK.com and select any product, then enter the code CANDY at checkout to save 20% off your purchase. Monk Pack, delicious, nutritious food you can count on. Thank you for sponsoring us, Monk Pack.
Yay, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, so that got me down and...
Yeah. I'm sad that we both have to have this view of it, but I'm also glad that you see it in the same way that I do like that because it's, if you maybe don't have a little taste of what that's like, it's very easy to just throw somebody into the, oh, well, kind of like he did it to himself sort of thing, or I saw how he was on Celebrity Fit Club, or, and that's just, we're seeing the symptom.
Yeah. And like you said, we've experienced just a tiny little that kind of feeling. So I can't imagine what it's like for him. But it's sad, too,
awful.
like, knowing that that's human nature, that we, like, if we were to see him out. Like, even when we saw Mr. Belding. Remember?
I know. We all did. We did. Yes, I do.
Like, we call him Mr. Belding.
Right.
Dennis Haskins.
Okay, this is interesting because I had this talk once with an actor about how if people don't like us on reality television, it is really hard to take because they're saying they don't like us.
Yeah.
If you are a character on a TV show and they don't like you, it's easier to maybe distance yourself from that because they say, oh, I don't, oh, you were such a dick, but you're like, oh, well, that's my character. He doesn't really know who I am.
Right.
And so they have it better in that way.
Yeah.
But then if the character you play is, and you can't ever escape it, it's lose-lose, really.
Yeah, because even if they love you, they don't love you. They love
Screech. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
It's the admiration. They love my character, not me.
Right. And
you know what?
Who the hell am I without my character? Those are big questions.
Well, now that makes me like Annie Potts even more.
God, I love her, Sarah.
Because, I do too.
am not okay. I have been reeling ever since that interview. I'm not kidding.
I love you. Yeah.
Like, I was like, what is wrong with me? I can't stop thinking about her.
I'm thinking about her, for goodness sakes. Got us all doing it. We're all fans.
My God, I need to get a grip, though. Okay, let's move on.
Get a grip, Suze.
I read this fantastic article in the New York Times, and the title was about what coronavirus can teach us about our sense of smell, because you know how that's one of the
I question every day. I'm like, is it gone?
Yeah.
Is it just, do I just have a stuffy nose? Is my cooking bland? All of these are things I've gone through.
Right. Do I just need to season this better?
Yes.
So it was such a great article, though, and I just wanted to read some of the things that I learned from it because I think we often think of smell as maybe the least important sense. If we had to choose to lose one, I think most of us would say, okay, I'll lose my sense of smell.
Right, because I ain't picking my eyes or my ears.
Exactly. And so...
Oh, my God, good point.
This was sort of saying you don't realize how important it is until you lose it. Mm-hmm. So, okay, here are some of the fun facts. So recent studies have begun to puncture our conviction that we are too sophisticated to be good at smelling. So some people think, well... we don't need that set. We don't need to go rooting for truffles like a pig or something. So we sort of don't really need our sense of smell as much as we maybe did millions of years ago.
Okay.
But our brains know the difference between exercise sweat and fear sweat.
Damn, fear sweat is stinky.
And between a glass of wine that has recently contained a fruit fly and one that has not. Can you believe?
If that ain't a necessary, super important. Damn.
Isn't it weird, though, that we aren't aware that we know those things?
Wait, and we're struggling with the Pepsi Cola challenge? Why? We can distinguish between a fly?
Right? Like, how is it that we can know but not know we know?
Right.
That is weird to me.
Okay. See, I feel like that's such a metaphor that the sense that's the most important that we don't really recognize and we don't maybe see as important is the most is the linchpin and you know, and maybe if you are somebody who works in the behind the scenes, or maybe you're a little more, or maybe you're a mother. You're really not recognized, but holding it all together.
Yes. So, I think we even talked about this one time in the show, but it just rings a bell. Did you know that when we shake hands with people, that we as a human race unconsciously then will sniff our fingers to make sure that we like the person? Yes.
Oh, this does vaguely ring a bell. Oh, my gosh.
Right.
And we were talking about in the beginning of the... Because we got to know. We're basically dogs.
Yes. We like to think we're so sophisticated when we're sniffing our fingers.
We're not at all. When I start looking at... I know. I was watching Shark Tank the other night. And this was from a few years ago. And there was a guy who came on who has literally reinvented the wheel. And... it's a wheel that's kind of built upon a cube, and it can go over really terrain, and it is really funny, and it was really good. And they definitely got his idea. But when they said that the wheel was only invented 5,000 years ago, I was like, 5,000? That's really no years ago.
That is so true.
That's in the grand scheme of things, the fact that we're so new here, it's
stupid.
A joke.
It's a joke.
It's so silly. We got here yesterday.
Yeah. Didn't we notice these rocks roll? What? Why didn't we put two and two together?
It was I went down a whole rabbit hole the other day because I was like, it took us too long to get ketchup upside down in bottles.
Yes.
Everything's taking too long. What the hell?
Even
we're
the fact
not
that we're
smart.
still saying, like, we put a man on the moon, blah, 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 blah. I mean, we did that 50 years ago, for fuck's sake.
For fuck's sake.
We need something new here.
God. It just cracks me up. I don't know.
Well, okay, every morning,
we connected everybody via internet and then made social media ruin their lives and create mass feelings of paranoia and depression and anxiety.
But we can't make silent dental tools. So just, let's stay humble, people. But every morning, this is a true story. Every morning, my cat takes a shit and I go, I can smell that. So I don't have coronavirus. But thankfully, she is using Kitty Poo Club cat litter, which I highly recommend if you have a feline friend who, you would like to treat to a wonderful potty experience, because they deliver an affordable, high-quality, recyclable litter box pre-filled with the litter of your choice. And then you just put the dang thing out. The cat uses it, and then once a month, you get rid of the stuff and compost the box, and then they send you a new one.
I love this.
I love it too. It's a great
idea. I'm
idea.
available to watch your cat anytime you need with that kind of maintenance.
And it's no risk guarantee. You can easily customize or cancel at any time. Give yourself the gift that keeps on giving, baby. That whole year, a Kitty Poo Club subscription. Right now, Kitty Poo Club is offering you 20% off your first order when you set up auto ship by going to kittypooclub.com and entering promo code BrainCandy. Just go to kittypooclub.com and enter promo code BrainCandy to get 20% off when you set up auto ship. That's kittypooclub.com, and don't forget to enter promo code BrainCandy at checkout. We love poo stories around here.
We sure do. I was like, how on brand for us. Kitty Poo Club is just fun to say.
Okay.
Kitty Poo Club.
Listen to this. Oh, sorry, I cleared my throat. So, thank you, Adam. He just brought me a tea. He must have sensed
my gosh, hi,
Ad. Sarah says hello.
Thanks.
Hello, Sarah.
Oh,
How are you?
Oh my gosh, look at that voice. People are going to die.
Would you like a cup of tea as well?
Oh my gosh. I wish you could just magically he's trying.
Voice of an angel.
He does have a voice of an angel. People are going to go nuts for that. I can hear him. Because I just did. I was like, oh my God.
Thank God, Adam. Okay, so listen to this. Provided human beings would be willing to, if we crawled around on our faces in the grass, humans are fully capable of finding a scent trail while blindfolded.
What?
Yes.
What? Oh my God. Susie, I think I found my weekend plan.
What are we doing with our lives? Why aren't we doing this more often?
Well, and also, how come this has never come up on any of the seasons of Alone?
Good point.
Why aren't they doing this on any of my favorite wilderness shows?
Because maybe people like your mom who have the gift of this, what is it, the sixth sense? Then maybe they tap into that too. They can sniff out trouble and stuff.
Or,
who knows?
Maybe it's so my mom and I will talk about how if she's very... sometimes people who are psychic have to balance, being, and we saw this in the movie Soul. You have to balance being kind of in the zone with being in reality.
Yes.
And you can forget and not tend to some of your self-care in the real world if you're kind of spending too much time focusing on the spiritual world.
Yes, that makes sense.
So maybe because she does that, those senses aren't as tuned. And somebody who, how they say people who are blind have a more keen sense of hearing or something like that. Which I don't even know if there's any truth to, but they do say that it's more it's more utilized. So not necessarily, but maybe a strengthened muscle.
Totally.
And so it's if you focus on one, then it can, turn up, and maybe you others that are a little if you have maybe those people are chefs.
Totally. I love that. And you might not know why you were drawn to that profession, but maybe it's
but you just have yes, thank you. You get what I'm saying. Yes, you have you have that innate ability to Like people who maybe have people who have it with their eyes. You know, we could talk about people who see like a wider range of colors. They become artists. They become photographers. They become, directors.
P.S. Remember when we talked about the super identifier people that can recognize people really well?
Yes.
And we took those tests and we did really well. And so many of the Brainiacs did really well. In fact, one person that listens to the show did so well that she was contacted by the study.
No!
Yes.
No!
She got certified.
No!
Yes.
This is the coolest thing I've ever heard! I fucking love our show. Look at what we're doing.
We're changing lives here.
This is the Lord's workout. Come on. I mean, I'm sure the Lord would like that.
Like, for real,
So,
she's
call it his
properly
work.
certified now, and she can help in, like, law enforcement and stuff like that.
Stop it.
I swear.
I am actually freaking out. No, my neighbors are going to bang on they're going to be like, shh, you need to calm down. This is the coolest thing. Susie, who is this woman?
She's in our Facebook group. I can't remember her name.
Oh, shout out to our super recognizer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I'm so excited right now.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
I don't even, I can't even begin to describe how, because it feels like we said this. Remember when we did that episode? We're like, we're going to find people who have like something that they don't know they have.
Yes.
And I remember when I discovered that I have synesthesia, and it was like, what?
Yes.
And now somebody else gets to have that feeling?
And I think it's so satisfying. Like, she probably knew she maybe was pretty good at it, but, like, had no idea it was a gift.
Oh. 5 stars. 5 stars.
5 stars.
5
We're
stars.
making days. Okay.
I love it.
I have more fun facts about our noses. Our noses can distinguish between two groups of mice that have different immune systems. And, like, what are you laughing at?
I mean, just like us smelling mice. Anytime I get the visual of mice in an experiment, it's hilarious.
Listen, okay, wait, there's more. Okay, if you take longer breaths when something smells good and shorter ones when something smells bad, it's a reliable predictor that someone will eventually wake up from a coma. So, like, I don't get why that's true.
Okay.
Okay, maybe you can tell me.
No, I mean, I have no idea. This is just Sarah has theory. So I have no idea. But so I'm trying to like visualize. So if somebody is in a coma and you put something in front of them that smells good, and they take longer breaths.
Yeah, like they want more. Like you do when you smell cinnamon buns or something.
Yes. Okay, so somewhere inside them, they're still
alive.
connected to that consciousness that is making a decision about something, really.
Yes.
Oh.
And still in survival mode, because that's what it is
and still
rooted
in survival mode. Susie.
Yeah.
Excellent.
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 Okay, there's more.
I'm so excited about this.
And then they talked a lot about how the people that have lost their sense of smell because of COVID feel just horrific, that they feel
detached.
rudderless. Yes. Adrift, disconnected from the world.
Very detached, yep.
Isn't that terrible?
It is.
And, like, why don't we test kids for smell ability? Why do we only do hearing and vision?
Oh, my God.
What if you didn't have the ability to smell? You'd want to know.
I have a friend who likes really bland food.
Yep.
And I wonder what that's like.
Because the author of the article is one of those people. I can't remember if it was a man or woman.
Like a super smeller?
No, the opposite. They can't smell anything.
Can't smell.
And they said that you would be surprised how much people talk about smell. And you don't even notice unless you can't. Yeah.
I love becoming aware of something that
Me
was
too!
before. Awareness. I love that. Awareness is the best.
It's so exciting because we are doing it all the time and don't think about it.
This is what I tell clients this, I tell friends, family, whoever, that our brain, we're like naturally running on autopilot. And then when you realize that you can get in the driver's seat and actually control where the hell this thing's going, and also the interior lights and the air temperature and all that, it's
the
like,
whole world
holy
opens
shit.
up.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole world. You're like, wait a sec.
Yeah.
I'm in charge of what I think and believe and hold on to and do. And also, oh, look at how I'm getting influenced by X, Y, and Z. As soon as I become aware of that, I can make my own choices, and I feel like I'm in charge of my life. And it is hard to have that awakening, and that, like, you know, it's uncomfortable because it's, you know, we talk about this, like, it is hard work, and like, what, you know, ignorance is bliss kind of thing. But if you can just like make it through to realize, like, I would imagine it's kind of like you've got like this spaceship that's like you've never driven before, and it's like on autopilot, and all of a sudden you're like, oh God, I got to take over, and like grabbing the steering wheel, or I don't know, whatever the fuck you use to drive a spaceship, would be a little shaky at first. And then you would like get the hang of it, and it would kind of like stable out, and would stabilize or whatever.
I remember one episode we talked about an article I had read about how to become better at smelling, and it was suggesting you go to Target or wherever and sniff all the candles and like name what stuff you smell in the same way that you might with wine. And this article sort of leaned into that because it was saying part of the reason smell seems so inconsequential and mysterious is because we haven't developed the language to support it. So when you try to describe a smell, it's kind of like, how do I even do that? And so maybe we need just more practice at describing what we smell.
You know what's interesting? Now that you think of that, when I think of that, every single word that I think of for how something smells is really just a description of how it tastes.
Yes. Right.
It's sweet. It's sour. It's yeasty. It's I'm trying to think of everything that would be in my baking, like what they say on Great British Bake Off. Spicy.
Which really is
peppery.
just a taste. Spice and like bubbles in seltzer, and what was the other thing? Sweetness and saltiness. They're not smells. They're just
those aren't smells.
Tastes.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. Sweet and salty are not smells, they're tastes.
Correct.
Are they?
Yes.
What is happening? Am I smelling it or am I tasting it?
So if you lose your smell during COVID, you can still taste whether it's salty. Like a burger will just taste salty.
Suze, I said this the other day to Ren because when I thought I had COVID, but I really didn't. It's just mold in my apartment. But my sinuses were all stuffed up. This is a fucking true story. And I was making something that was really spicy. No, I was making something with fish sauce. I was making Brussels sprouts with fish sauce. And I was like, I cannot taste the fish sauce in this, but I can taste that it's really salty. Can you tell me if I was like, I cannot taste the fish
weird.
sauce. But I knew I could taste the salt. That makes sense because I was like, did I not lose it? Because I can taste salty.
Right.
Wow.
Yes.
We are learning things. I love this episode.
Don't you love the smell of HelloFresh too?
Well, it's good cooking, and I love that.
I love it too. I mean, have you tried it yet? Are you sick of cooking and shopping?
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Well,
it's the
perfect thing.
Just the weeks that I have HelloFresh is so like. You know how Obama has somebody who picks out his outfits because he like recognizes he can't make more decisions. I need somebody to just pick out my meal, put it in the bag, put the directions on there. It feels so good to have that extra energy.
Yeah, because we are burnt out of making decisions. We have decision fatigue. And I don't really like going to the grocery store, especially now.
Nope.
So HelloFresh cuts out stressful meal planning and grocery store trips, so you can just enjoy cooking the food and getting it on the table in 30 minutes or less. We had a wonderful crusted chicken, like a mustard crusted chicken last night. It was so good.
Oh, I had that.
Really nice. Eating healthier has never been easier because they have low-cal, carb-smart, vegetarian, pescatarian options. And then you can change your schedule, skip a week, whatever. They have Easy Eats, which are really quick and easy, which everyone is probably dying for right now. But this is a wonderful deal you should take advantage of. Go to HelloFresh.com/10BrainCandy and use code 10BrainCandy for 10 free meals, including free shipping. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/10BrainCandy and use code 10BrainCandy for 10 free meals, including free shipping.
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, that was just mind-blowing for me. And
I love that. That's mind-blowing for me. I mean, the things we learn.
The things we learn.
And we have a super recognizer in our midst.
Midst.
What's that word?
midst.
In our midst.
M-I-D-S-T. Yeah.
Midst.
And I love that she kept me posted on that. And she was just like, I'm going to take the test.
Love that too.
The whole process. It was so cool. Anyway, it's funny you brought up Soul, the Pixar movie.
Yeah.
I loved that film, as you know.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm just drinking my tea.
Yeah.
And
Don't worry, she's not clearing her throat, guys. Just drinking some tea. Everything's fine.
Okay, so the New Yorker wrote an article by a black man. He wrote the article. And he was sharing his feelings about the film and things I had not thought about because I am a white woman. And he was saying that there's a long tradition in Hollywood of giving, let's say you give a person of color, a black person, the lead. There's almost like this implicit thing where then the white character embodies them, which happens in Soul. The Tina Fey character, 22, goes inside of the black man. And how it's almost like they just can't commit to having the black person truly be the only lead. I wondered what your thoughts were.
We had the same conversation in our house.
Okay, tell me what you thought. Just
and
that
about
it was weird.
having them turn into an animal as well.
Oh.
Because he turns into a cat.
Yes.
And how that, and yes, it's a Disney movie.
It can be problematic.
And I think it's important to, like, again, awareness.
The awareness.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Because when you see it, you wouldn't realize it if you and me, a white person and white woman who'd like, oh, normal. But as soon as you step into the eyes or shoes, whatevs, of another person, you can absolutely say, oh, yeah, yes, that is going on. And it's about fucking time that we listen to the voices that are saying this is happening, who are actually the ones being represented.
Right, because when I was reading the article and I'm thinking, I don't know about that. Yeah. But then I thought, well, that writer does.
Yes,
know about
exactly.
That.
And like that's the same way if we're writing about an experience as a woman and the guy reading the article is like, well, I don't know.
Yes.
You don't get to comment. Sorry.
Right.
You go, oh, look at what I'm learning. That's what you say. So we have to read that and go, oh, look at what I'm learning.
Yeah, because it wasn't an indictment or, anything harsh. It was just saying, let's consider this and let's unpack it and understand it better and maybe avoid it. Like
and
in
maybe
the future.
avoid it. Right.
Because it said it makes the viewer feel like the perfect person would be a white consciousness in a black body.
Ew,
right.
And when you say it, it absolutely looks like that.
Right. I was bummed out because I do love that film. I think they did a good job, but that's a little bit not the best. So something to think about if you're watching it or whatever. Oh,
well, and I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think it's like, we have this conversation with Disney movies all the time. That people, I've said like, oh, well, I'm not going to let my kid watch Beauty and the Beast and da-da-da-da and all that. And what we have to do is responsible exposure to these things for children where it like promotes a conversation. Where absolutely watch it, but also talk about that.
And they were, excuse me. They were saying also that apparently Pixar has created, I forget the name, but it was something like the Culture League or something, and it's just all the black employees. And that they hired consultants, and the writer was saying, I think I know where the consultant consulted, because those moments are authentic and feel like the black experience. But it's incomplete,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. And, I think I do like that. Gosh, they're trying.
Yeah.
So I do like that. And, I feel like they did the same thing with Coco.
Okay.
but like consulted. And
Yeah.
I don't have anything negative to say. There's no like other side of that where you were like, oh, I know, right? Don't worry. But I started following a bunch of animators who are Mexican and like have Mexican heritage and were hired and worked on that movie. And they're amazing illustrators and artists and graphic designers. And I just like, when that movie came out, there was something that Disney did, and it was like featuring
stunning.
all of them. And I was like, oh, follow.
Aww.
And I loved all of the cultural influence and like, what would you even call it? Like history and all that stuff that went into that.
That film was stunning visually, too.
It really was.
Yeah.
Shout out to Allie, whose baby's room is decorated in Coco style.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that? Best colors and bright and fun. And her baby's going to speak fluent Spanish, just like Lincoln.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they speak in Spanish and read her to her in Spanish.
Oh, that's nice.
It's real cute. Yeah.
And it is Black History Month, so it's a great month to sort of dive into these kind of articles and books and things to celebrate Black art and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm. And please see American Skin again.
Yeah,
I really am pushing that.
Or you'll have to answer to Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you'll have to answer to me if you do not try Theragun, if you have back issues or stress, right?
Oh, you say the word and I'm relaxed. It's a game changer.
Well, because if you are like me, not able to go, I usually go to a chiropractor.
Right.
But I'm not going during the pandemic, and it really makes a difference. And I also have a case of the 40s.
I'm coming up on that.
And, things happen. And so Theragun is a handheld percussive therapy device, and it just works on your deepest muscle tension, scientifically calibrated combo of depth, speed, and power. But it's quiet, like an electric toothbrush. And I love that you told me about how it has you can connect to an app.
Yes.
And then it'll give you advice about where to use it, how to use it.
Exactly what time you should put on the area, exactly like everything. And it'll be like, okay, switch and move here. It's doing all the work of going to a chiropractor masseuse for you.
It is so great. Try Theragun for 30 days, starting at only $199. Go to Theragun.com/braincandy right now and get your Gen 4 Theragun today. That's Theragun.com/braincandy, Theragun.com/braincandy.
I love it. Every time like there's a birthday for somebody or Christmas for somebody, he's always like, let me tell you about these therapists. He's like the door-to-door salesman of them, but getting nothing for it. Just helping out friends and making sure everybody has no back pain. Yeah, doing the Lord's work out there.
Well, I guess keeping in the same vein, I also read this article from Food and Wine magazine, and I think the title was something like, why a recipe isn't just a recipe. And it kind of made me laugh because you know how people are always complaining.
Oh, for Pete's sake. I gotta read through a dissertation before I get to like how to make cinnamon rolls. Well, I need to know your entire family history.
Let me ask
Grandma
you this.
came over on the Mayflower or whatever. Probably not Mayflower. But,
About that phenomenon, there must be
sake.
people that love that, right? Because why would they do it otherwise?
To hide the advertising in there.
Oh.
This is people who blogged and then they need to put advertising in.
And like affiliate
it's all
links?
like affiliate links.
Oh, okay.
That's my guess. I have no idea. I know I said that with air of authority and
well, that's very convincing because otherwise I thought, who is doing this? Who is
what do I always say?
This?
Follow the money.
Right.
What did that social dilemma the social dilemma said?
Yes.
They're like, if you're not paying for it, you're the product.
Right. Oh fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then,
so if you're looking at that for free, then it's the affiliate links and stuff like that's really making the money. There's nothing free, people.
Right.
Nothing. Air,
okay.
maybe.
Well, Food and Wine had done an article in which they did a mole recipe.
Oh, yum. Yeah.
And they had taken a photograph of it, and then it's in a bowl, and then
That's a hard one to photograph.
Yeah, and it's sort of one color, and so they added a splash of hot sauce on the top of the dish, and then they had on the side a little bowl of limes. And they basically were saying, we're sorry we did that because we didn't know that isn't how you eat it, that would be considered kind of gauche and weird. And we're almost like leaning into stereotypes about Mexican cooking rather than honoring how it's actually eaten.
Okay, but like, I think about, this is not an ad, but I think about that Frank's Red Hot sauce. The commercial's like, I put that shit on everything. Some people just put hot sauce on everything. And also, we're big lime fans here. We put lime on everything. I wonder if it, like, are you, okay, I get it, though. If you're doing a blog and an article on mole, and it's for what magazine?
Food and Wine.
It's for Food and Wine? Okay. Then it does feel like you just, in a way, appropriated Mexican food.
Yeah, it's like they claimed that it ended up devaluing the essence of the dish and how this dish is not an everyday, like, weeknight dinner. This is meant for special occasions. And by dumping hot sauce on it, it'd be like putting hot sauce on, I don't know, what's another elegant dish?
Like a filet mignon that you have on Christmas or something like that. Or like a roast, like a Christmas, I don't know, like turkey.
Yeah, and they were saying that, like, that hot sauce thing is more of a Tex-Mex thing.
Yeah, it is. It's an American thing for sure.
And we're, like, whitewashing their food, and it's just kind of not ideal.
I agree with this.
Yeah.
I think if you're good, I think that's lazy, like food journalism or whatever it is. Like, I think it's writing, it's not honoring the food as much as it is the flavors that you like, which is just I don't know.
Well, it's sort of like, it's lazy at minimum and white supremacist at, at the worst interpretation of it.
Yeah.
Like, we're like, we're going to do this how we like it.
Yes.
I don't know. It just gave me food for thought, so to speak.
Yes, I like that, because if you were to take that, like, let's take that same article, and go and imagine this with the awareness of somebody in, say, like the 1970s, 80s. Mm-hmm. They would have definitely put, like, it. I feel like that you could see. It's like putting a sombrero.
Yeah, like a piñata or something.
Side. Yes, right. And a piñata, or like, and it's like, that's just what, I can totally see that. Yeah. I can see it, because this is just a more subtle version of that.
Yeah, and I say the hats off to them for even acknowledging it and then diving in a bit about the conversation and how to do better. So, there you go.
Oh, my God. The terrible comedian in me wanted to say, sombreros off to them for...
Sombreros. That's the best ever.
I said it would be terrible.
Right.
Oh.
Okay.
It said it would be horrible. Oh, that's funny.
Okay, so the conversation about the blogs and how, like, they put the story at the beginning and how... I'm like, who's enjoying this? That reminded me of how I used to say that I would wonder about phone solicitors, and think, like, who is buying anything that way? And then I'd go to my parents' house, and my dad would be like, hey, Sue, did you see this new wing dinger thing I bought? And
my God. Did he have the Billy Widemouth bass?
That's about the only thing he didn't.
I was going to say, he struck me as that.
He tended to go for, like, sports memorabilia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The collector.
Yeah, he's a collector.
I always, once a week, I use your dad's expression. If we keep saving money like this, we'll go broke.
Right.
This is my favorite. Once a week, I say that to Red.
Right. He had quips. And
it's so funny.
I read this great article in the New York Times about the spam callers, like those calls that you get where they're trying to get your money.
Ugh, yeah.
It was so fascinating, because it's like, who is actually making these phone calls to try to get into your computer or whatever? Have you ever had one of them call you?
Yeah. the
Can you open your
FBI
computer?
is looking for me or something like that.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay.
And
really?
so they went to India to investigate these call centers, and they even interviewed some of the people doing the phone calls.
Oh, my God.
It's really fascinating because they sort of have this sense that they don't feel guilty about it because they feel like you can afford to lose $200. Like, it means more to them to get it than it does for you to lose it.
I think it's also it's that hierarchy of needs thing again. You're willing to if you're needing to meet your own security, safety, food, housing, shelter needs, you're willing to do things that maybe your concerns are not self-actualization, so you're not thinking, well, what long term is this going to be? The effects
good for my
of
soul.
blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Good for my. You're thinking about survival. You're thinking about physical needs. You know.
So you
That's
think that
priority.
Like they're just justifying it because they are impoverished.
They're in. And I don't know each of their individual cases, but I would say that they're looking at that as saying, I can take $200 for them because I need to feed my family.
It's just
because
gross
I need to work. It's terrible across the board.
Well, yeah. I mean, we all agree.
Yes.
But it's just sort of like, I think they have to do mental gymnastics to convince themselves that that elderly widow that they're duping couldn't use that money.
I think that the brain naturally does mental gymnastics to protect itself without you having to work. Constantly. People justify, and we see this in the other direction, when you ask people who have been through something horrific if they would have liked to not go through that. And they say, no, it made me who I am.
That is something I cannot relate to.
Nelson Mandela said it.
My God.
Yep. Would you like to not be imprisoned? This is what, and like that, he was like cited in that study.
What do you think about that?
I think that that's what the human brain does. It's a protective factor.
Okay.
I think that we see that we are so resilient. We are so resilient, and we can get through so much, and our brain wants to struggle and wants to survive and then wants to reflect on that survival and struggle and use that to accomplish more. That is, we don't know it, but it's true. I'll ask my clients, and what is the thing that you are most proud of? If there's something that they're struggling with, say, what is the thing you're most proud of? Most people, never once have I heard somebody answer something that is not difficult or did not take work or did not.
Yeah.
Nobody says that one. You know what I'm most proud of? That one time somebody, I don't know, I inherited $20,000.
Right.
No, nobody says that. That one Christmas present I got? Nope. They say being a mom, going to school, recovering from addiction, facing my abuser. Those are hard. And in the moment, you were like, I'm not going to make it through this. And they're the thing that we are the most proud of. So we have to. I don't even know what I was talking about that brought this up. And now I'm like I'm like going to church or taking people to church over here. Yeah. Oh, the brain and how it has protective resilient factors. Yes. So we protect ourselves. And so I think that's why he can do those mental gymnastics, because we're not even aware that we're doing them. Your brain naturally does that and justifies. It's got to. We're all just trying to protect ourselves.
Right.
Not more than he's trying to hurt somebody else.
Oh, man. Like, to me, because I interview these criminals, so I have to think a lot about morality anyway. But I almost can understand some of those more serious crimes happening more easily than like purposefully ripping someone off financially. I don't know why. It just seems like that's so. It's because it's not emotional. Whereas like I could kill someone if they tried to hurt my son or whatever, you know. But like, this is just immoral. Period.
And I'm sure there's, the same ways that people who, maybe people who shoplift say, well, the store has a built-in, like, what do they call that? Like, there's a name for it. I can't remember what it's called.
The loss prevention budget.
Yeah, loss. There's a name for it. Shortage. Mm-hmm. They call it shortage. And there's a built-in, but and they'll be like, oh, well, this is already built in. Yeah, you can justify like people. And then I always think of way, way back. I think this is when you had the Meister piece. When you interviewed, or maybe it was on here, when you interviewed the guy from Hoarders.
Yeah.
And he said everybody's 5 decisions away from putting their urine in jars. And it's really, so how many decisions away are you from scamming old lady out of $200?
Yeah, that's true. And that really
probably
is
not
sort
very
of
many.
What makes me interested in interviewing these sort of extreme, quote unquote, evil people, because I don't see it as being that far away from where any of us are.
Right.
But people prefer to see it as like they're the bad guys, we're the good guys, and there's a big distance between us.
Damn, and really...
No, there's not.
Maybe not. Woo!
Let's wind it down.
Good way to end on serial killers.
I mean, I'm working on my throat clearing.
Yes, we talked about how, Pixar's doing some consulting, and maybe we all need a little more awareness.
Mm-hmm. We learned a lot about our sense of smell.
Oh, gosh, that was so cool. Shout out to our super recognizer.
Yep. And also, we discussed the complexities of being a caricature when you're an actor and how painful that can be.
Yep. R.I.P. Dustin Diamond.
R.I.P. for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And just sort of, I think it's good to just be aware as a consumer of media to remember that these people are people and they're not there for your entertainment. That's their job, but it's not their identity.
Right.
Including Sarah and Susie.
That's right. Yeah, and on that same note,
yes,
I'd like to say to anybody listening, you don't need to waste any more time, not even 1 second, feeling bad about what happened on Rivals 3.
Oh my God.
You can let it go. I swear to God, every week I get somebody who says, I'm so mad about that. I'm not. Nobody's losing sleep over this. So you guys I thank you for being so supportive, but we good. So
that's
thank
nice
you all,
of you to
and just
say.
let it go. Yeah, because they don't, no worries.
Whenever they say that, I'm sure you think it's nice because that's a nice idea. But does it annoy you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It doesn't annoy me, but what makes me sad. Like, this is like the therapist in me, who like the one protector of feelings. Who I don't want somebody to be feeling that feeling of like the guilt or the remorse, like not guilt, but like the remorse that I felt of wishing I had just sat down up there and said like, nope, we're not crossing the finish line. Like, I don't want anybody to even for a second feel like a little bit of like oh man, I feel so bad for her. No, no bad feelings in there. I don't want to be the cause of anybody I want people to think about that and go, oh, wow, look at how she's like super happy and crushing things right now, even though that stuff happened. And maybe that can be the takeaway.
That is really nice.
There you go.
Because I think people really felt what that must have been like for you.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
It's just so, like, you were the perfect foil because you're not a villain in any way.
Right.
You're so nice. It's stupid.
Well, thanks, Suze. And I mean, I think with all the shows being out now, I've, people have, talked to me, or people hit me up on Cameo and stuff and just say like, oh, you were like my favorite and all there. And so I think about the kind of people who are so kind and wonderful, who are the ones who say, I'm their favorite. And it's usually somebody who's like an underdog or somebody who's like, because that's what I am. They like me because they're like, I get that. The same reason I like characters that were, when I see that, I'm like, yeah, I know what that feels like. And so I don't want to I want people who know what it feels like to be the underdog to know we don't need to worry about that. We don't need to live in that place.
You know what's funny is in most rooms that Sarah is in, she is the entertainment. Like, she is the star of the show and so animated. But, like, in the challenge house, you're, like, the normal one.
Right. What does that say? Well, you know what? That says I pick pretty sane friends.
Oh, that's true. Pretty normal.
Pretty
like,
normal friends. Bookish,
yeah.
all of them. Yeah, my friends are so normal and in the best ways. Not normal in the best ways, I should say.
All
you
right.
included, Suze.
Leave us a 5-star review.
Yes.
Please subscribe. It means so much. And tell us.
One star for every sense.
Yeah. And if you use any of our codes or like any of the products that we work with, please tell me. I love when you tag us in that stuff too.
Yes.
Check out all our new merch. Join our Patreon. We got stuff for everyone.
Oh my God, we have so much stuff. This is like a whole family here.
Oh my God. Love you.
Love
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Did you know that everyone has an aura? Do you know what color your aura is? Maybe you have a fiery red personality or a quiet and calm blue or green. You could be an organized and methodical yellow or an explosive purple. Come join me, Mystic Michaela, on my podcast, Know Your Aura, to find out all about how your personality can be explained in colors.